Now, welcome to a blazing hot afternoon here at Hockenheim, about 70 kilometers from Frankfurt in Germany. We're round 5 of the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli. I'm Clive James McNeil, standing in for Dave Richardson, who can't be here this weekend. Unfortunate him. And with 3 rounds to go, the current champion is Bjorn Grossman, and he's in Team Ogden 126. His Evo leads Team Rosso-Corsa's Philip Barron, 129 points to 99 in the pro class with a 30-point deficit. Barron needs a good result here to cut down on that lead. But in the AM class, Britain's Sam Smith from Stratso Ferrari has got an enormous lead. Enormous, 79 points over second place Canadian John Ferrano, 145 to 66 points. That's where we are in Germany, former East Germany, this place. Formula One, DTM, ADAC, German Masters, Superbikes, ADM. It's a Mercedes test track as well. They even have drag racing going on here from the first turn, going the opposite way down to the track, all the way down to the hairpin. It's a big drag track down here, and even a gliding place just over past the forest, because this place is surrounded by trees. It's brilliant. 31 degrees. Track is 43 degrees at the moment. Humidity not bad, 44%, but the track is very, very hot, and we're right out in the sun, and this is probably the worst time for the drivers, sitting there in their cars waiting to go out, because no air conditioning in these cars, and you've got your fireproof suit on. You're suited up and booted and strapped right in. That's that's Philip Barron, I think. It's number 91, Franco Massarelli, the director. I like that one very much. So let's have a look at what's going on. 20 points for a win, 15 for second, 13 for third. But just an extra point for being on the entry list. And another, though, for pole position. Yet another extra point for the fastest lap. And those 20 points for the win were out of the running at the last round in Sochi in Russia, when the local wildcard, 17-year-old Vladimir Atoev, took both races, but he's not here at Hockenheim, and it's all to play for again. In qualifying, it was the rookie in TropheoPirelli, the Swiss Fabio Lima, who took pole, the former 2013 GP2 champ, just 3/100ths of a second in front of Philip Barron. This man right here in the blue number 91 Rosso-Corsa machine, with Bjorn Grossman another 3/10 of a second back in the pro class. In the AM class, though, Britain's Sam Smith was 7th overall, but first in class, ahead of Austria's Jans Liebhauser, the Go Motorsport Evo, and the Slovakian Jan Dennis for Scuderia Prague. Having a look at the standings at the moment, top five going into this race. Bjorn Grossman from Philip Barron, then Marcelo Puglisi, Alessandro Vizzoni, and David Gosner. That's the top 5 in the TropheoPirelli Pro class. In the AM class, it's Sam Smith, as I said, from John Ferrano and Tommaso Rocca, and then Martin Nelson, and just for that double win in Sochi, Vladimir Atoev is way in front of Jan Dennis, the Scuderia Prague Slovakian, and hopefully he's going to change that here. And it's going to be, I would imagine, a fairly tough race, this, because you've got a track which is half and half. We've got a big, very, very fast section coming out of the Nords curve, then Bernie Eccleston curve onto the Parabolica, and then very hard braking down to the hairpin, and then fast again until you get to the Motodromo section. So it's a bit of this and a bit of that right here. But we are in Hockenheim, Germany, and with 2 rounds to go, there's a lot of points on the board. And part of the Ferrari weekend is the fact that there are a lot of ex-Formula One cars here, which you can buy. Normally Ferrari will store them for you, and if you want to race them, they go out to these particular weekends. They'll bring the car And something a lot of people don't know is the fact that if you actually do buy, and you can buy, an ex-Formula One car, they start at around £800,000, I think, and that's for a no-name, really. It depends on who's driven the car, etc., etc. You can let Ferrari look after it for you, and they've got all the spares for them as well. Bjorn Grossman, 14 wins, average points per race, 21.22. So he doesn't do too badly at all, Bjorn. Look at all the carbon fibre on that. Number 19, Bernd Nielsen from Denmark, Formula Automobile, amateur driver. His second career race in Ferrari Challenge, so quite a bit of a rookie, but he's doing very well out of it as well. They're all lined up. You can see the heat coming off of these cars. As you can see, incredibly hot, both outside and inside the cars.
Hello, my name is Thomas Löfflert. I'm race driver in the Ferrari Challenge Coppa Shell, and I'm driving with the San Marino team style F Squadra Corsa. And today we are in Hockenheim at my home track because I'm from Germany and I really love this track and being here with all these beautiful people and having a chance to do my home race here. So Hockenheim is my home track and I'm proud to be here, and for sure all of my family will come here to visit me because they're nearby, and also my friends will come here to enjoy this beautiful atmosphere here on this very special track. Hockenheim is a track with a few very, very famous parts. So the first of it is for sure the Motodrome with a Sachs corner. Unfortunately, it's on the other side, so we cannot see it from here in the pit lane. But it's where you can lose a lot of time in the entry of the Motodrome and in the Sachs corner. And it's also beautiful for the visitors because they can see a big part of the track from the grandstands on. And another part famous in Hockenheim is the Parabolica and the Spitzkehre. So the hairpin, so the Parabolica is a main straight. It's not a straight, it's a corner, but it's full with every car. And at the end of the fastest part, you have already the slowest part, the hairpin. So it's really hard braking there, and it's where you can also lose a lot of time or also gain a lot of time. And the best part of all is being here with a lot of beautiful people and a lot of nice people and these amazing cars. And I really invite you to enjoy now the racing with us in Hockenheim. And now enjoy challenge races with us here in Hockenheim.
So that's Thomas Löfflert, and he's been racing earlier today in the Coppa Shell, came second, but he's got another race going up tomorrow, starting to TropheoPirelli with 6 races left to go. This is one of them, and it's Hockenheim. We've had Monza, Mugello, Le Mans, Sochi. Now we're Hockenheim. We've got Jerez to come, and then the great grand final at Daytona, where the APAC Series, the America Series, and this European Series all get together to fight it out for the world final. This is the grid. And Fabio Lima on pole position from Philip Baron, Bjorn Grossman alongside Marcelino Puglisi on the second row, and Alessandro Vizzoni and David Gossner together on the third row. Then Sam Smith, who's the leader in the AM class alongside Jens Liebhauser, Jan Dennis and Henrik Hedman. Next down, then Martin Nelson, Tommaso Rocco's quite well down the grid on row 6, I think. Then Hulin Han and Galip Attar, Alexandra Nussbaumer, Frederick Jean-Marie Fangio, and Pa Nelson, Peter Knopflach, and Volta Ben-Durenberg, the last one on the grid today, as they all start to get rid of the release compound on their tyres, warm them up, scrub them in, and try to get as much heat as possible, which it won't be too difficult on this track. We're about 40, 41, 42 degrees on the track temperature. It says 31 degrees outside, but particularly around the stands area where there's a lot of reflection, a lot of bold feeling to the track. It feels a lot hotter than just that 31, and they did predict to get up to about 34 degrees. I think we've gone past that already, and it should start to cool down a little bit as the sun starts to lower in the sky, but it's still going to be a very, very hot race for this. Fabio Lima, his time 1:42.994, and that's just a few hundredths of a second ahead of Philip Barron. We do have cameras in the cars. Philip Barron's got one in this. Oh, no, we're on board the safety car at the moment. We do have a roof camera facing backwards on Philip Barron's car, and an up front camera looking forward for Marcello Puglisi. So we'll watch out for those. But Fabio Lima, pole position man for Octane 126. His teammate Bjorn Grossman, same coloured car, on the second row of the grid behind him. Number 1 is Bjorn Grossman, so watch out for him. Fabio Lima, you can get the two mixed up just because of the colour scheme. And I've done this in the past, I'll be doing it in the future. Philip Barron, blue colour scheme. It's very easy to spot. There he is, MSC on top of the car. And they'll be starting alongside Fabio Lima. But this is a rolling start. You have to wait for the pace car, the safety car, to pull off. And it will be Fabio Lima who will control the start from here. Quite a bit of tension, as you can see, amongst the fans and people in the pits as the safety car pulls these around. Remember, Fabio Lima, number 68. There's the gold, white and red car of Octane126.com, and Bjorn Grossman behind him, same coloured car but a different number, of course, as they come out of the turn. Pace car has led them around. No standing start for these. They're just going into the Sachs curve, coming around out of the Sachs curve and down to the final corner, and all starting to settle down now. The pace car will be pulling off quite shortly. The race will soon be underway. As they start to sort themselves out in grid order, it's Fabio Lima who has control of the start. He says when they go, and that will be after the start-finish line. And it's probably one of those times where the drivers think that all the plans that I've got for this race, everything that I've got in mind to do, particularly at the start, you can get a great start if you're just in the right place at the right time. Safety car's gone in. Lima on the inside of the track will be controlling the race. Barron next to him, Grossman behind him. Lima's already gone. Barron's gone with him. Grossman's gone with him as well. Grossman already trying to get up the inside of Barron for the first corner. He's got position, but Barron goes a little bit wide and still retains that second place in the race. And coming up behind is Marcello Puglisi, I think, who's trying to get Grossman on the inside, Grossman around the outside, so it's not a problem. And Puglisi, number 9, black card you've just seen behind it, has to give second best. So they're going in pole position, pole order at the moment. Fabio Lima, the only person who didn't have to really defend. But you've also had to look for 7th place is Sam Smith. Watch out for him. Sam's a very, very fast starter, and number 92, the Brit, will want to get in amongst the fight here. And we've already got a problem down at the bottom. There's 1, 2, 3, 2 cars off at the moment. One of them stopped, can't see the number from here, I'm afraid. But after that, it's still a green light. There's still a green flag, so there's no flags out to stop this race. It's already underway. Those cars will be out of the problem. I think that was down at the hairpin at the end of the Parabolica. Traditional place to have problems under hard braking after you've gone maximum speed down the Parabolica. But at the moment, Lima has it under control with Philip Barron behind him, and then Grossman, and then Puglisi. Pettoni in 5th place, then David Gusner, Nelson Smith in 8th place now. And they're starting to settle themselves down after that first lap problem down at the hairpin. Hopefully that'll all be cleared up. The cars didn't seem to have that much of a problem. A hairpin at the bottom and just a touch And more than a touch at the bottom. I didn't see that car go off as well. That was number 42. That's Atar Galip with the Octane 126, the Turk, who got tagged from behind, and a bit of the bodywork coming off from that car. So he'll be limping back to the pits, and I would think his race is over. I don't think he'll be going out again if there's too much damage. Gap starting to open up now as Lima starts to put in some serious work in front. Fastest in the first sector, he is the leader, hasn't had any problems, hasn't had to defend or try to attack anybody. So perfect place to be out in front. And there's the Turk's car, number 42, being dragged out of the gravel. Safety car on track apparently. So it's a yellow flag, and they'll have to do all that start again as they'll line up behind the safety car. But the race still carries on under the safety car. The safety car just in front of my commentary position on the start and finish straight. Just after the start. So everybody will know that that's a procedure. They'll know the safety car's on track. They'll have seen those boards out there. On board with Marcello Puglisi. As I said, one of our 2 camera cars. Looking forward, Puglisi on Grossman in front of him. Puglisi at the moment in 4th place, of course. They'll be going around under the safety car, so absolutely no change of position while the safety car's out there. It's amazing that you can go through many years of motor racing and still manage not to realise this was the start of the race, and it was Lima who had control of the start. And definitely Bjorn Grossman was having a look at Philip Barron. Philip Barron moved over and squeezed him to the inside, but did have a good amount of speed going into the first turn, and that left Bjorn Grossman without the exit speed. And this was the big problem at the bottom of the hairpin. Quite a few cars out there. Number 37 had stopped on track, and that was Jan Danis, the Slovakian, so he won't like that. Extra points that he was hoping to gain in this round over Vladimir Atuev, who took two race wins at Sochi and put himself in front of Danis. Well, Danis won't be scoring any points and will stay behind Atuev after this race at least, but he does have another race tomorrow. Sam Smith in 8th position, good for the Brit. But he's not leading the AM class at the moment. The AM class being led by the number 13, Martin Nelson, the Swede from Scuderia Autoropa, who got in front of Sam. Sam on pole in the AM class. Remember, there are 2 separate races going on here. There's the Pro class and the AM class, both running together, both having their own podiums, both having their own prizes at the end of this. Sam Smith is the number 92, driving the Stratstone Ferrari, so watch out for that. But 24 minutes into the race and we're under safety car, under a caution, because we do need to get what remains of some of the Ferraris, and the ones that have stopped out on track need to get them out of the race. Just a reminder of the ones who I think, well, among the ones who've gone out, Jan Danis, the number 37, and of course the Turk as well, Galip Atar for the Octane 126 team. He got tagged from behind, and we saw some decent amount of bodywork coming off there. So Atar probably too damaged to continue. Don't know about Jan Danis though, if he was managed to get going again, because he'd stopped on the track. If he managed to get going, he'll probably be at the back of this group. We'll have to see as the timings go around. But it is a safety car out because of those 2, and I think those 2 are the only 2 that have stopped on track, even though we did see quite a few involved in there. And they're underway again. The safety car is pulled in. So all to do again for Fabio Lima, and he can be sure that with the best view of the lot out in front, the green flags are waving and they're all away again. So Lima out to start, where he finished before the safety car came out. Nelson and Smith, this is the battle. Number 92, Smith, for the AM class position, and Nelson and Smith locked together over 7th and 8th position on track. They are first and second. Nelson in front with the number 13 car in the AM class. So just remember that they are the leaders in their particular class. You see the rest of the drivers on track and a rundown just below your screen, but those two right in the middle of your picture, the blue and the yellow cars locked together, Nelson and Smith, and it looks like quite a strong battle for them. Smith, well, he's the leader of the championship by quite a margin, by 145 points to John Ferrano, and Martin Nelson's down on 58 points, so it really doesn't matter if Martin Nelson beats him here, because Sam Smith has got almost an unassailable lead. But this is racing, and you don't want to let anybody get in front of you, and you want to beat as many as the pro drivers as you can. So Sam is desperate to get past Nelson, and he'll try anything he can to do so. Remember, it's a sprint race. You don't have a lot of time to do anything about it. You've got to make all your moves as quickly as possible, and we've already had overnight 9 minutes of this race gone, and it's still quite a while to go, but there's still quite a few people in front of you. And if you're stuck behind a lower driver and a slower driver, well, that means that you're going to keep losing time over the people in front of you. And there's Grossman, I think, up there. Or is it Gustner? That's Gustner. David Gustner, number 50, in front of this battle between Nelson and Smith. The number 50, Inaco MP Racing Machine. There's the number 92. Sam Smith, Stratstone Ferrari, the Brit with the Union flag on the side of the car. Behind him, the number 10, that's Hedman. Henrik Hedman from Sweden. Scuderia Ultoropa, well represented here. They've got two cars on the grid. Stratstone only have the one. And it's all up to Sam Smith to... It's getting very, very close at the back there. That's number 58, getting in all sorts of problems. Let's have another look at that. Into the turn. And I was just looking at a passing manoeuvre because Marcello Puglisi was involved in that one. There's Marcello on board with him and getting unceremoniously dumped by the number 27 of Vezzoni. So Vezzoni's gone past him and moves into 4th place, but he's still Lima from Barron, from Grossman on the 1, 2, 3. And that's the first three going through your picture there. Black car is Vezzoni, Puglisi. I think actually it is Puglisi, because I don't think Vezzoni was able to manage that pass. Battle for first position in the AM. Still Nelson in front of Smith, and Smith having a quick look on either side of Nelson's car. Still hasn't managed to get... Whoa, we've got some decent power going on there, but he doesn't quite manage to get track position to make the pass. That was very, very slow out of the corner for Martin Nelson. But he's certainly got some speed. And you go down the Parabolica. Now, Sam in an ideal position to contemplate a manoeuvre, but you're going into the hairpin right here, and it's a very, very tight and deceptive little corner. You can outbrake yourself into there. Still losing time, though, over the rest of them, and has to watch out for himself. Lima, so far, is the fastest lap, 1:45.189. And breaking away, I think, from Philip Barron by nearly 2 seconds he is now, and still going faster. Fastest of Sector 2 was Lima, while we concentrate on this, the AM battle. Down in 7th and 8th place overall, but it really is a battle. And finally, Sam's able to get past him. While I'm checking the times on one screen, Sam decides to, while you're looking away, I'll get past. So that's race incident with 37 and 42 being investigated after the race. So 42 was Galip Aitar, and 37 Jan Danis. And that's being investigated, so we'll see what comes of that, but we won't know now. It's going to be after the race. And some real fighting going on between Vezzoni and Puglisi and Costner. I think that's Costner involved in that. So we're looking a little bit further down, damage to Hans Carr, the number 58. That will be Hulin Han from China, the Motor Service Evo. And so he's got tagged from behind, but he's way down the order at the moment in 14th place, just behind Fangio, but in front of Knoflach at the moment. All the AM classes are down there. The front 6 places all taken by the pro drivers. This is Lima, Fabio Lima, in the Octane 126 car, and Philip Barron can't do anything about it. He's still breaking away from Philip Barron, and we saw this in the Copa Shell, where the leader can get out and just start putting in really good, solid laps, no problem at all, and breaking away. And that's what Lima's doing. He's on fire this weekend. Qualified in pole position, gets the extra point for that. So far, he's got the fastest lap of the race, so he'll get an extra point for that. Plus 20 points for the win is what he's looking for. Philip Barron doesn't want that. The points at the moment show Philip Barron in second place on 99, and Lima down on 32, but it doesn't matter. You just don't want to be beaten. Sam Smith in first place now for the AM class, and breaking away as you would expect from Nelson, who's behind him, and by quite a margin. He's really started to put the hammer down now as Sam. Well, Nelson behind him, and those are the standings in the AM class. So just within a lap and a bit, he's taken about 3 seconds away from Martin Nelson behind him, the Swede, and the Brit is cracking on. Sam Smith really does need to go or fully pro, I would say, because he's constantly doing this, showing people up. The number 97 just goes through your picture there, and that is the Tommaso Rocca, the Italian for Rosso Corsa. Battle over 4th and 5th. And of course that's the AM class. Liebhauser in 4th and Rocca in 5th. And this is the AM class. Remember, the pro class are all out in front, and they're all running away from the rest of them. The leader of the AM class, which is Sam Smith, on 14. About 3 seconds, I'll take that back, 2.5 seconds behind Gustner in the pro class machine. So the battle seemed to have settled down, and it's now between Nelson, Hedman, Liebhauser and Rocca for the rest of the places behind Smith, because Smith has broken away, and then behind them it's Hedman, Liebhauser and Rocca all together on track, number 10, 44 and 97, which are all involved in this battle. And I think Nussbaumer's going to, no, Nussbaumer's quite a bit down. He's about 9 seconds down behind Rocca at the moment, so not a problem. It's just that all these 3 or 4 together, and it's all a battle for second place. Nelson's lost a lot of time to Sam and won't be able to make that up, and now coming under threat from Hedman, Henrik Hedman, the Swede, and all pushing on together. 13.5 minutes left in this race, and you don't have a lot of time to think about it. You've got to make the move. Number 97, Rocca, the Tommaso Rocca, the Italian, going through your picture. Nice colour schemes on these cars, and sometimes they clash a little bit. Some of the teams come together. There's Sam Smith. Have a quick look at him with the Stratstone Ferrari, and he really has put the hammer down. As soon as he went past Nelson, that was it. That was all she wrote. This is your leader, Fabio Lima, Swiss, Italian-Swiss. And as you would expect from a former GP2 champion, he knows what he's doing around here. As the run down as we go, 9 laps into the race, and Philip Barron's 2.5 seconds now down, and Grossman's being left as well. So Grossman hasn't been able to close down on Philip Barron, which he would dearly love to do, being his local track. And Philip Barron is Austrian, but Björn Grossman is German, and we're in Germany at the moment. He'd dearly love to close that down. Philip Barron, though, debuted at Imola in 2012. Second in the championship coming into here. That's not going to... Oh, big bang there. 44 involved in that. That's Jens Liebhauser, the Go Motorsport machine. And Nelson. That's Liebhauser. Smoking, we're getting back on track, but he's got that tyre rubbing out in front. And you can see the smoke coming off that at the moment. And so wearing away some part of the tyre. Having another look, if we can, at what happened there. Just have another look. Up in the inside, and he tags to number 13. So poor old Martin Nelson not only gets dismissed by Sam Smith, but taken out by Liebhauser. Martin sideways on the track, and steam coming from that car. Or was it just smoke? I hope it was just smoke. So Nelson and Liebhauser, a big coming together, and that's meant that positions will change down there. Rockup will get into 9th place. Liebhauser goes down into 10th. And poor old Martin Nelson, and 17th place at the moment. I think he might still be running. Bit of a problem then, and a couple of nasty little incidents in the AM class. Oof. Touched a little bit of the side of the track. That was dust there for a moment. I thought it might have been a major problem for Grossman. Björn Grossman, and number 41 running really slowly. That looks like that's Fangio. Well, that's unfortunate. Fangio was way down the order in 15th place, and he's obviously run off track. Let's see what's happened here. In too quick, back end comes round as you go into the stadium section. And a long way through the gravel, and that's going to be a long drive out as well. Managed to keep it going, though. That's the main thing if you're in the gravel. If you can keep it going, keep the drive going, you can ride over and not dig yourself in. It's when you stop and have to start again. That's when you start digging holes. So poor old Fangio is well, way down the order now. So the incident involving number 13 and 44, Liebhauser and Martin Nelson, that's under investigation as well. Got 2 investigations and 2 and 4 drivers to go and see race control after this particular race. Less than 10 minutes to go now, and Lima still out in the lead. Nothing that Philip Barron could do about it, but I tell you this, he's being caught by Björn Grossman now. Björn Grossman checking out the lap times. Björn Grossman's last lap, 46.2, 46.38 for Barron. So that's coming down, 46.07 for Lima, out of problems and just stretching away in front. But it's Grossman now who wants to do something about Philip Barron in front of him. Doesn't really need to. He's leading Philip Barron by 30 points, but all points count. Top speed from Philip Barron, 258 kilometers an hour. And look at that, it really went wide into that corner. That meant that Grossman could close right up on him, and Grossman got a good drive out of that corner, but not enough for the next one. Going into the Mercedes Tribune. But he'll have another try, another chance after this. Not close enough to do anything as they start to go into the Motordrome section. from here. It's a very, very fast turn into there, and then it starts to get pretty twisty. Up into the Sachs curve. And good for Grossman. Number 19, Per Nielsen. An excellent passing manoeuvre, very close, but very quick as well. So Per Nielsen moves up a spot on Nussbaumer, I think that was, in front of him. And still Grossman pushing forward, the number 44 into the pits, unfortunately. Jens Liebhauser's race is done. And look at the damage to that car. And look at this, Philip Barron's really trying to put the power down and cutting some corners as he does so as well, taking dust off the track and throwing it in the face of Grossman behind him. Grossman is really pushing hard on Barron, needs to do so because he's got just under 7 minutes left of this race to do something about it. He's on the outside of that turn, and that's going to be a difficult place to pass, but wants to take the inside. If Philip Barron doesn't get the power down, he does. Barron's trying to shift him over to the outside of the track and take the curve. Grossman, beautiful manoeuvre, puts Philip Barron right out into the dirt. Barron will not give way, manages to get into the corner first, but he's in on a wrong line. Grossman takes a better line through the corner. Barron just didn't get the grip there, and all of a sudden, Barron, whatever he did, it just wasn't enough to keep Grossman behind him. Grossman managed that absolutely wonderfully. Philip Barron, just too many mistakes in too short a time. Tried everything he could to keep Grossman behind him. Wasn't to be. Philip Barron goes through to third place. Bit of a slide from Grossman as he comes out there. Now you're in front at the moment and looking on. Yes, what a manoeuvre that was. Grossman on the outside, Philip Barron on the inside, but wants to put the power down. He's in the wrong place at the wrong time and tries to move Grossman over. And both of them sliding into the corner. Grossman manages to hold it better than Barron does. Barron can do nothing about that, down into second place. And Grossman, whoa. Well, relief all round, I think, there. Fabio Lima way out in front. Not a problem for him at all. He's 5.6 seconds in the lead over Grossman. That battle between Grossman and Barron has slowed them both down. But now Grossman's got a little bit of clear air. Barron is now the chaser. Doesn't have a lot of time to do it. Now, if Grossman could have caught him and passed him, that means that Barron hasn't got anything left in the tank to do anything about it. Grossman knows he's being chased, though. Barron's not one to give up. And that was a tight little couple of corners, and luckily not a coming together. Philip Barron tried everything he could to keep Grossman behind him, shifting him over slightly to the side of the track, but unfortunately wasn't concentrating on where his entry was going to be at the end of that one. And Grossman wasn't going to give way, got the better line out of both corners and managed to get past Philip Barron in the end. And that's a second place for Grossman, which he'll love on Philip Barron because it just extends his lead over the second place man in the championship, Barron. 41 races Barron's had with team, not all with Team Rosso Corsa, but he's a youngster, 30 years old, and a pro at this. Well, they're both pros, obviously. They're in the pro class. That was absolutely brilliant racing. But Grossman now starting to pull away from Philip Barron, as I would imagine that would be the case because Barron couldn't get away from Grossman initially. You can see the gap now that Lima has over Grossman in second place, 5.5 seconds, and that has stayed the same over the past lap. Both of them lapping within a few hundredths of each other. But Barron, oh, he's still trying, isn't he? Using a little bit of the track and some of the scenery as well. But it's not going to happen. He's just going to have to settle where he is. And remember that there's another race to come. And that one's on tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. Lots of VIPs coming to the track here at Hockenheim. Sebastian Vettel will be here as well for the Ferrari Challenge weekend. And Barron now losing time all the time behind them. Vezzoni. Well, Alessandro Vezzoni is kept out of trouble. He's the Rossa Corsa Pellini Racing Challenge Evo. Behind him, there's Sam Smith. Look at Sam Smith. He's just uncatchable in the AM class. He's even passed David Gosner to take 6th place. He's so quick. But 3 seconds down on Puglisi, and won't have time to catch him now. But Sam Smith is just going great guns. Got away from Nelson early on in the race and just hasn't looked back at all. Stratstone Racing Ferrari looking imperious in the AM class, and even taking a pro class scalp along the way. That's the second in the AM class is Hedman, the number 10. Hedman is Scuderia Autoropa machine, Henrik Hedman, the Swede, but he's way down, is Hedman. He's around about, I think it's got to be about 11 seconds. Let's try and get this right. I think it's even a bit more than that. Well, think about 19 seconds down on, might be even more. Well, over 20 seconds down on Sam Smith. So that is the gap that Sam Smith has been able to pull out. There's the 3rd place in the AM class, Rocca. And although they'll get on the podium together, I mean, Sam Smith has been imperious. What a word I keep using, which I shouldn't do. But that's the way it's felt here. As soon as he got past Nelson, clear track in front of him. And I said at the early part of this race, he needed to get past quickly so that he could have a go at some of the pro class drivers, and he's done that with David Gosner. David Gosner down into 7th place overall. Sam Smith in 6th place overall, and the overwhelming leader in the AM class. But with less than 1 minute to go, there's no catching Fabio Lima. Behind him, everybody else is in their own race. That was Julian Hahn, I think. And there's the leader of the pro class, Fabio Lima. As I said, the Swiss-Italian driver, now starting to lap some of the lower class cars. The white strip across the visor shows that it's a pro class machine, black strip for the AM class machine. And 2nd place, Bjorn Grossman. Nothing he can do, championship leader at this moment. Fabio Lima, though, will take maximum points here. Fastest lap, pole position. You get a lap for that. You get a point for pole position, point for fastest lap, and a point just for being on the entry list to come in. So maximum 23 points for this first race for Lima. On the final lap now, there's Philip Barron. Nothing he can do but watch Grossman still pull away from him out in front. And that looks like it's going to be the 1, 2, 3 for the pro class. Sam Smith, though, well, 2.9 second gap over Puglisi, the next pro driver along. Won't be able to do anything about that. There's number 68, Lima, your leader. Not long to go now, and he has been uncatchable this weekend in free practice, in qualifying, and now in the race. And Lima's going to have a look at his data to see, we'll see if he can get a quick glimpse at Lima's data to see where he's getting that speed from, because he has been really dominant this weekend. Lima, the number 68. I will reiterate, he's a former GP2 champion from 2013, and he really seems to have got to grips with this 458 Evo class Ferrari. Dominated from the start, across the start and finish line. Lima wins race 1 here at Hockenheim. Bjorn Grossman, the championship leader, has to settle for 2nd place after that furious battle with Philip Barron, who manages to cross the line in 3rd place. That's your top 3 in the pro class in the TropheoPirelli. Sam Smith, though, will come across the line as an absolute outright winner of the AM class. There he is, the number 92 Stratstone Ferrari comes across the line, and he'll be finishing in front of David Gosner, who a pro class driver who finishes in 7th place overall, 6th place in class. Then it will be Hedman. And behind here, Rocker will cross the line. They'll be the top 3 in the AM class finishing. And William Han, a really good race for him. He's actually finished in 10th place for the Motor Service Chinese Challenger. A good 10th place for the Chinese, but out of the chance for a podium because it is Sam Smith, Hedman and Rocker ahead of him. Just one more place he needed, but he wasn't able to get it. Rocker was able to beat him to the line for that one. But dominant from both Lima and Smith in that race. The checkered flag just in limply. There's not a lot of wind around here at the moment, and even if there was some wind, we're surrounded by trees, which really does cut any air movement across the track quite a bit here. We're in the bowl of a forest, but the air is still as the sun starts to lower its way down the west. First race done and dusted for the TropheoPirelli. Sam Smith and Fabio Lima will go away from this race with all the points they needed. Sam Smith's hand out of the window. Up these windows to get a little bit of air in. It's been a fast and furious race, especially for people who are going to have to go and see race control after this race. Jan Danish, Galip Attar, and Lee Powser and Martin Nelson as well. Number 41. Well, you just lose control sometimes. That's Frederic Fangio with the Motor Service machine. Philip Barron, that was a really hard-fought race, and a bit of disappointment on his face because of that, but still, you've got a podium out of that, Philip. Be pleased with that. Fabio Lima waved in, and Grossman being congratulated. Good second place for him. Bjorn's done a good job, very good job of not being phased and bullied off the track by Philip Barron. All racing, all good racecraft from both of these drivers. And pro drivers, well, you would expect that. And excellent work from both of them. Lima and Grossman together. Lima with the Swiss cross on the side of his helmet. Or more particularly the visor, which you can see there. And the Evo class, well, their first race here at Hockenheim this year. They'll have another one tomorrow. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. Calling up to Fabio Lima. So from the start of this race, well, there we go. It was Fabio Lima who got away, controlled the start, what he needed to do. Grossman behind him, teammate, tried to get past Philip Barron at his first attempt, didn't manage it. Philip Barron went wide, but still managed to hold Grossman off. But some furious driving trying to do that, then down into the hairpin off the Parabolica. Big coming together with some of the cars. It was Jan Danish, number 37, and Galip Attar, number 42, involved in that. And both drivers being told, you've got to come and see us afterwards. They brought the safety car out. Safety car gathered them all up, but it wasn't for too long. Just a lap and a bit before they all got going again. And Fabio Lima did what he did at the start, started to pull away from the rest of them. And then a big coming together from Liebhauser and Martin Nelson. Number 44, Liebhauser, and Martin Nelson, number 13, involved in that. And Martin Nelson punted sideways, quite a bit of damage on both cars. They're going to have to go and see race control after the race as well. Meanwhile, the battle between Grossman and Barron just went on and on and on, and eventually, after quite a bit of furious competition and using all of the track plus something in the next postcode, Philip Barron just made one mistake too many. Bjorn Grossman got past to take that second place away from him and started pulling away from Philip Barron. Nothing that Philip could do about that. He shot his bolt by that time. Lima, though, was away and gone out into the lead. Nobody could catch him. Behind him in the AM class, it was all about Sam Smith being able to dominate everybody in the number 92 AM class Stratstone Ferrari, and took the AM class win away in that one as well. But that's just the first race of the weekend. So this is the way it goes. Lima from Grossman and Barron. That's your 1, 2, 3 in the pro class. It was Sam Smith, Hedman and Rocca in the AM class. Stratstone Ferrari ruling the roost again. And Octane 126 in the pro class, taking a grand 1-2. And we're going to bring them up onto the podium, of course. You're going to get your podium credits for this as well. But not just that. The points for the race, 13 for third. Philip Barron will have wanted a lot more points than that, lying second in the championship. But once again, Bjorn Grossman beats him. The leader in the championship gets the 15 points. But the man who takes the fastest lap and pole position and 20 points for the win, the big maximum 23 points overall, will be going to Fabio Lima. Swiss national anthem for Fabio Lima. And in Copichelle, it wasn't a German victory. And in Ferrari, the Ferrari Challenge, TropheoPirelli, not a German victory in Germany. The Swiss take it. Team won't mind, it's a team 1-2 here. Grossman won't really mind that much because he still leads the championship. And Lima not a threat at the moment. And look at some of these trophies. Lima will have to build a reinforced shelf for some of this. Look at the size of that. Brilliant race victory. They say races are won like battles before the race ever begins. Lima had already done that. Fastest lap in qualifying. Qualified in front of anybody else. Pole. And the former GP2 champion. And of course, this is the time the cleaners hate, because when that champagne gets in your eyes and all over you, it smells, does the champagne. It just reeks. But then again, it's a classy reek, isn't it? Champagne, winner's champagne, there's no smell like it when you're up there on the podium. Bjorn Grossman, great drive from him, I will say, brilliant drive. Philip Barron is no fool on the racetrack and really made it very difficult for Grossman to get by, but Grossman was always there And you know that in these short races you're going to have to take your chances. And Philip Barron kept him professional, kept it all together on the track, just took it all out to him. But Bjorn Grossman still leads this at 145 points now over Philip Barron, 112, so he loses a bit of ground. Marcello Puglisi won 100 points, Vezzoni 72, Gusner 63. And Fabio Lima works his way up in front of Babelis on 55 points now. Same for the AM class victory. It's Rocca, Tommaso Rocca in third place. Henrik Nelson unfortunately out of this, so it was Hedman in second place. But Sam Smith, Stratstone Ferrari, way on top, and even demolishing one of the pro drivers in the process.
Well done to Sam Smith. I think he could even become champion tomorrow already, so we need to check that. First of all, it's
Circuit commentator commenting on Sam Smith's victory.
to our winning drivers and the winning team.
And some beautiful trophies being given out here at the TropheoPirelli.
So congratulations once again to
Marc Genet, official Ferrari test driver. If you remember Marc Genet, giving out the trophies as well. Got all the stars here. As I said, that Sebastian Vettel will be here tomorrow. And he gets one of these fantastic Ferrari Challenge trophies for his reinforced shelving at home. Sam Smith lifts that high. Well, you have to be fit in motor racing just to lift the trophies. Photos all up there. Genet on the podium as well. Of course, you're going to have to get that. But Sam Smith is the star of the moment in the AM class. And once again, the champagne gets sprayed over absolutely everybody. It's been a wonderful day's racing here for the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli and the Copper Shell, which we had a little bit earlier. Of course, we're all going to come back and do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow, another big day here at the Hockenheim ring. And brilliant track as well, designed by a guy called Herman Tilke. Just in case you didn't know, that guy designed Sochi, Yas Marina, Aragon, Bahrain, Sepang, many other tracks. And he's done a damn good job here, but it's the drivers themselves. Sam Smith leads the championship by a whopping 178 points over Tommaso Rocca, 77. John Ferrano, 66 points. Martin Nelson on 59. Vladimir Atuev down to 42, and Andreas Segler on 37. Jan Danis wanted to get in front of Atuev, but unfortunately couldn't finish the race. He's still on 36 points. It will all happen again tomorrow as the camera looks at the moon in the sky. Of course, that's still there, and people start to relax now. The sun is falling here, and when it rises tomorrow, it'll all start again. There's more qualifying for the Copper Shell and the Trofeo, but 2 more races tomorrow, a big weekend at Ferrari Challenge. So until our races tomorrow, take care. This is Clive McNeil saying, keep it flat. And I'll see you tomorrow.